Hello, and welcome to another video where I review Wargame products. In this video, I'll be reviewing the AK Interactive's Playmarkers Hero Set. You may have seen various manufacturers' paint pens and wondered if you should add them to your arsenal of painting techniques. Hopefully this video will help you decide if you should invest them or not. And be sure to stick around until the end for a bonus blooper clip. As always, hit like and subscribe if you want to see more poorly produced videos. First, let's start by going through how you activate the pins. So as you see here, you take off the cap, press the button at the base of the paint pen, and the paint will start flowing out of the pen towards the brush. It usually takes about a minute for the paint to get down to the tip of the brush so you can start using it. I would highly recommend that you do not shake this up after you've activated it. Otherwise, when the paint does come out, it's going to get all over the place. I start off by using the dark skin on a figure I primed in gray, just painting the flesh tones. It goes on fairly well. This paint does have good coverage. The painter does not. I'm not going to paint the figures completely. I just want to show a couple of the paints, how they go on, how you can use these, and so forth. But the other reason is, in the Hero set, there wasn't enough variation in colors, that made sense for these Viking figures. And of course, I drop it. Next, I try the color on a figure that I primed in black and then did a brown highlight over it. The one thing I noticed here is that even though the package says you can wash the tips, I did this prior to painting this figure, and it was very watery, so it didn't go on very well. I now moved on to the Desert Ochre pen. Even though it looks like it has been primed, it's just not going on very well. There's not enough paint on the tip. You can see a little bit coming out. So I tried it. I don't know if I didn't wait long enough or what. And at first I was a little bit upset because it wasn't covering the brown paint, the highlighted paint. I went back to the gray primed figure and tried to see if it would work on that. The one thing, I should have tried a contrasting color because it doesn't come out very well. By this time the paint starts coming out, and it's on the tip very well. You can see I tried to prime it again, and it actually dropped paint down on the figure, so you have to be careful about that too. I did like the fact that the brush tip is actually a brush. It's not like a felt marker in some of the other manufacturers. I go back to the brown painted, brown highlighted figure, and you can see it's coming out much better now. It's about this time that I realized, why am I holding it with my hands like this? As you can see, once the paint gets flowing, it does come out very well and does provide good coverage. Now I get smart and actually put the figure on a painting base. That helps a lot. There are actually 6 paints that come in the Heroes box. There's the dark skin and Desert Ochre, which I've used so far. Yellow, I haven't used that. Silver, red, and light orange. I did go back to the original white primed figure to see if the paint has dried. You can see it's been about 10 or 15 minutes and it's dry to the touch. I'm now going to try the silver paint. As you can see, when I was priming it, I shook it up. Silver paint got on my game mat, but it does go on fairly well. This one didn't seem to take as long to get activated, and it's a fairly consistent color. One thing I'll note is that these are real paints. They're not like the Army Painter Speed Paint 2.0 pens, which are more of a contrast paint. This is more, if you want good coverage, you don't want the contrast, these would be the paints you would use. Okay, so it's been about an hour since I painted these. And one of the things that I noticed is it does take a little bit longer to dry. But you'll also notice on this figure, it's a little beat up. Well, because when I was changing my camera angle, I dropped this and he fell and got unglued from his base. So, yeah, I had to fix that. The other thing I wanted to try is, since it has been an hour, I wanted to go back and see what the tips look like, the brushes look like, and see if they still had any paint on them, or if you had to go back and reprime them. But no, it does. It's got some paint on there. I think because I tried washing this tip, I think it's still a little wet and it's not really getting in. You can see some of them, especially on the face. It's still showing the underlying color. So it says you can wash the tips, wash the brushes, but maybe that's, when you're done for the day. All right. So that's him. I'm not gonna put the other guy on the handle, but I did go back and just touched up a few places with the paint. It didn't get as dark as I wanted because it says it is a dark skin. It's a little bit light. The color's not the same. The color on the brush is not the same as the color on the pen itself, on the marker. So there's a couple of places to touch up. So I think it does have some uses. You do have to be careful because it is kind of messy. And because when you have paint on your tip, do not press down, or be careful when you press down, because what will happen is all the paint that's on here is going to be forced down as well and will drop on whatever you have it over. Okay, so I think that's it for today. I think it does have its uses. I did actually like how the tunic came out on this guy. I will say you might be able to pick it up on the camera. There's some darker spots right there. This was still wet after about 10 minutes, and I picked it up. Well, when it fell on the floor and got debased, I had to pick it up. And you can see where you can kind of see where my finger was. I can go back and touch that up. I'll probably keep, on this figure, I'll probably keep that tunic color. I may redo the flesh if it doesn't come out the way I want it. All right. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe.